grinds my gears.
That's what she said.
Yes. No comment on that one. The show where basically we break down all the things in the world of entertainment, movies, gaming, sports, whatever it is in the world that actually pisses the hell off and basically does not require us to have therapy. We got a whole,
this is our therapy.
This is basically, because it's cheaper than therapy. It's funny. I had a whole script in my head that I was going to use for that. And I just completely cocked it up right after that. So, but we got a whole bunch of stuff, going on. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We got a whole bunch of stuff of people here today. So we got JT and Obi to my over to my side there. Down below, we have Devani, Rob Leckington, and Mr. Brandon Kaye. So drop us a message, as always, on Streampunk Sports, Streampunk Entertainment, whatever basically is pissing you off in the world. We're here for you, too. However, we are starting this off per Brandon Kaye's very direct recommendation, because I think in this case here, our resident Met hate, Yankee hater with his perpetual hate boner for my beloved Yankees. We have a little conversation that we're going to be having now when it comes to our good friend, Mr. Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman is, in fact, the GM of the New York Yankees and has had some problems recently with regards to the fact that he cannot let go of his anger and his hatred when it comes to the Houston Astros. So without further ado, Brandon, roll, sir.
First off, I just got to say this. If I'm a Yankee fan, the minute I heard or read that comment, I would not be wearing anything Yankees till at least opening day. I mean, first off, even if you do feel that, honest to God, why are you telling everybody?
Let's back this up first, though, real quick. What is it that he said, though, that basically is pissing you off?
Okay, so basically, he is blaming the Astros cheating. Let's not forget they cheated themselves, but he's blaming the Astros cheating for their World Series drought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind also, basically, you're a Mets fan.
Yes.
I'm a Yankee fan here, so suffering in this case in some regard, but go ahead.
Suffering. Wait. Yankee fans don't suffer. Sorry, Scott. Either you're a suffering Yankee fan or you got all the championships. Take your pick. Brandon, go on.
What have you done for me lately?
This little crybaby here.
All right.
I just want to say that I'm a Ravens fan.
Different sport, quality team, though. Better than my Giants, then who isn't?
So let's just backtrack here and point out that the Yankees have a letter that is about to be revealed on how they cheated, essentially. Okay, that's the first off. So now you are going to come out and say, wah, the Astros cheating and ended up winning a World Series is the reason why we haven't won a World Series in, 13 years?
Well.
Dear God, is that long?
Yeah.
No, actually, you're looking at, 13 years this season.
Since 2009. Okay, so let's go on a year-by-year basis, and you guys tell me if this is the Astros' fault. Okay, losing in 2010, the championship series to Josh Hamilton and the Texas Rangers. Is that the Houston Astros' fault? I don't think so. Okay, let's move to 2011. Let's move to 2011. You lose to the Tigers in the division series.
Oh, that was bad.
Is that the Astros' fault? I don't think so.
Yes.
Okay, very next year, 2012. Do you see a pattern here? Do we see a pattern? Okay, 2012. The championship series, that very same Detroit Tigers. I think that was the year Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown. Is that the Houston Astros' fault?
I'm noticing a trend here, by the way.
All right.
Let's listen to it. He's a
baby. Bring at least to 2015 here.
Yes, that was our very next. That was my very next step here. The wild card game to the Houston Astros. This is in 2015. Now,
yes,
if there has been document of cheating back in 2015, fine, because you played the Astros basically every year after that. So at that point, it's now just becoming an argument of they just cheated better than you did. So you weren't even good at the cheating.
Emotional, damn it.
Okay, so we have our little entanglement the Yankees have with the Astros for a few years stretch. Okay, so let's go now to 2018, where the Red Sox, yes, they had a little bit of an issue themselves, but is that the Astros' fault?
Wasn't Alex Cora with the Astros? And
Yes,
also,
that was Cora. Okay, that was
So
Cora.
you could basically maybe
So
you
fine,
could make a little
if
bit
you want a transitive property, say that the Astros helped. That's fine. Okay.
But nice use of the phrase transitive property, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. That's very good. I haven't used it in a while. Back to my educational school days there. Then 2019 championship series against the Astros. So again, and if you're cheating too, be better at it. I mean, really.
But
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Okay. Then we get to the very, very recent history. 2020, the very shortened season. You go up against the Tampa Bay Rays in the division series. You lose. Is that the Astros' fault? Don't think so. Okay, the very most recent playoff game for the New York Yankees, the wild card game against the Boston Red Sox. Is
Houston
that the
Astros.
Astros' fault? No, it's not. I feel like I'm on some like Seinfeld routine about this.
What's the deal with the Houston Astros?
What's the deal with the Yankees?
And to go back to this is just it was the Spider-Man meme of you just pointing at each other between Astros fans, Yankees fans, and then the organizations. You are the walking Spider-Man meme. And and at least with the Mets, our biggest issue is DeGrom's elbow or shoulder tightness. You know, that's typical Met business. We can live with that. But I'm sitting here wallowing in this Yankee debacle here, and I said this with
You're
this
sitting
letter,
there like twirling the mustache. I think
I am, and when they reveal this letter, I want some like FDR fireside chat. I want my crackling radio. I want my fire going. I need this to be done
You're sitting there
to
just
the
like
best of the degree. Like, no, I need these Yankee tearing down to be
basically. I'm going to tell you something on this. As a Yankee
God,
fan
my
for 20
spleen
years,
hurts from getting worked up.
I didn't know you could have
Like
spleen pain.
toxics.
God,
Yeah,
my
you might
side
get that
hurts.
checked out.
Something in the
You know,
side.
Here's the thing I'm going to say about this. You know, as a Yankee fan since 1994, this irks me royally because of the fact that, I mean, there was a lot of contempt for 2017 and everything that came out of that. And also a lot of contempt for Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, for giving the equivalent of basically a tap on the wrist and nothing else. You know, in this kind of case, when you're looking at everything that happened with that team, there's some understandable frustration with the rest of the league. But like you said, and again, I am siding with you, Met fan, me Yankee fan. I'm siding with you on the grounds that, you know, the Yankees have a problem right now, and a massive one that stems beyond the cheating aspect. It's what they're doing with their team, how they're handling certain things. And also, when it comes to the cheating, we're going to have to find out, because I believe that letter is coming out this week from basically a judge. You guys don't know this. A judge ruled that
Not
a letter
Aaron,
from
a real
what's
judge.
that?
A real judge.
A real judge, not an Aaron judge.
Yeah.
A real judge came out and said, yes, you are legally required in 2 weeks' time to unseal the letter that Major League Baseball sent to the New York Yankees in the 2017 season, saying, knock your shit off. We know your asses are cheating too. That letter has been sealed until now. And a judge has come out and said, that shit's getting opened. You are going to find out actually what that letter says. And the Yankees are like, oh my God, this is bad.
Yeah, and now the Yankees and Major League Baseball are in cahoots to get this thing to be, you know, continue to be sealed.
You know, and I mean, in this case, I'm really curious. The Yankees have gotten themselves in trouble with how they handled certain things. The Red Sox did as well, you know, with the cheating, with the digital cheating, which really, when it comes down to, all three teams are doing. And who knows how many other teams are probably doing it. I would say probably at least half the league at this point.
I figured you were talking about like the Deflate Gate.
Oh, man, it's kind of the same thing. But Deflate Gate was with footballs. This is with technology. This is similar to when, like, the New England Patriots were using technology to steal information and signs from the Jets, if you remember.
Rob,
Why they had to do that?
Get your sports ball right, Rob.
Imagine being Bill Belichick in the height of your powers and needing to be insecure to videotape the Jets.
Wait a minute.
I'm not even. That's not even. It's not even a mad. I'm not even mad.
Go ahead,
That's
Devani.
like,
go ahead.
Like, really? Like, you need to videotape us? Oh, go ahead. You're gonna beat it. You beat us anyway. So what difference does it make?
Even if they cheat, they still lose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Imagine having to get extra videotape of the Jets. I mean, this wasn't even like the Colts with Peyton Manning or the Steelers with big. This was the Jets.
I'm a Jets fan, and I don't think I can argue this.
Mhm.
I am so sorry.
Hey, I'm
And
a
I'm a
Giants fan. I
Cowboys
got nothing
fan.
to bitch on here, man. I have
Did
some
I
hopes for the future, but it's
mention
Oh, you
I was
haven't won a championship since '96. Have fun.
Did I mention I was a
Whatever.
Mariners
And
fan?
it's all the Yankees' fault the Cowboys haven't won a championship. There's got to be some connection there, I'm sure.
exactly. You know, and the
Damn
reason
you,
the Cardinals
It's
damn
did not
Deion
win
you.
in
Sanders' fault.
1940
That's the connection. It's Deion Sanders' fault. The
Exactly.
Yankees.
No,
Damn
it was
you
Terrell
all.
Owens' fault when he ran out to midfield and put the football down on the star twice in a single game, by the way. It's all his fault.
That's
You know,
about right.
Wait, I got the final quote. I got the final pun, guys. Damn you all, damn you.
damn you
Damn you, sports ball!
to hell. So, yeah, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen here because right now, as far as my evil empire goes, and we mentioned this on the Sports Den the other day, Brandon, the Mets are more fun to watch and the games are more fun to attend.
Yeah,
You know?
like I said this. You go to a family barbecue when you go to a Mets game. When I go to a Yankee game, I might as well put on a suit and tie and bring a briefcase because I'm going to a corporate business meeting that they just happen to have a baseball team playing.
Dude, I got to tell you, honestly, depending on how this whole thing comes out with the Yankees, I could see my loyalty shifting a little bit. You know, I mean, there was a Yankee game.
Come on,
Yankees and
yeah,
Mets.
come to the barbecue, grab a plate. We got plenty of room.
You know,
Come
I
on
mean,
over.
Oh, God. Y'all going to make me come to the dark side.
Uh-huh.
you know what it is, and it's like I said, it depends on it because in this case, depends on how this comes out. It can make me look like a hypocrite because I was pissed off about all this stuff too. Because CC lost his chance, and Brett Gardner lost a chance, all this kind of stuff, and it pissed me off because of how it was being used. But depends on how this comes out. Yeah, I could see my loyalty shifted. I mean, if the situation was different, I could totally be a Tampa Bay Rays fan.
There you go.
I mean, you know me. I like the underdog. I like,
Fans.
Yeah, and things with you when they just go to crap, you just pick up a Florida team. So the Magic, the Rays.
I told you, I went with
Next-
the Orlando
hey,
Magic
hey,
because
depending on what the Giants are doing, you're going to jump on the Jaguars bandwagon.
no, that's just never going to happen. No. I'm not aligning with Jason Mendoza from The Good Place. I'm sorry, it's just not happening.
Fair enough.
I was hoping one person got that reference.
Scott, to your point.
The only thing I know about the
Tampa
Jaguars is
Bay fans,
AEW.
What's that?
There's a good possibility that this could help to push fans in the Florida area into their local teams and not into the Yankees. Those snowbirds now feeling guilty if they have the same mindset as you as I was all angry about this. And that's one of the reasons the Rays and other Florida teams can't get fans. The New York fans are their fan base, and they're like, no, I only come when my home team comes.
I have a question.
Have an answer.
The Jaguars football. So, does anyone else have a problem with the fact that the guy who runs the Jaguars is also very busy running a soccer league and 2 wrestling promotions right now?
No,
No.
he's good at sports.
Because the owner of my team thinks he's going to be this politician and the ambassador of England or whatever it is. Please. All these owners are doing so many other things on the side where it's all they either have so many guys really doing the day-to-day operations.
The problem with a team like
There's
that,
a difference between the owner and the actual president, though. Like the guy who's running the 2 wrestling promotions and the soccer league is literally like the guy in charge of operations for Jaguars.
I think probably because he's a fan of business and making money and not a fan of the team. Trevor Lawrence is a good sale for him. The team can be crap, but if you have somebody like Trevor Lawrence as your long-haired quarterback, and he's doing Subway ads and things like that, it increases jersey sales. Tim Tebow, when he was with the Jaguars, was the highest selling ticket or jersey for that short time that he was there. I don't think that owner really cares about the team so much as he cares about the wallet.
Well, he is a billionaire, but
George Steinbrenner would be like, "Fuck it, I'm going to pay $500 million to have this team win."
I love how Tebow had one great season, and he's been riding off that ever since.
Actually, had 2 good
They
college
screwed up his
seasons
career,
and
though.
1 great NFL pass. I mean,
They screwed up his career, I think, though, personally.
I agree
'cause they
with
got traded to the
Scott
Jets.
on
They had a
that
2
one.
quarterback system, and it hurt your development. I think he could have been better elsewhere.
He could have been better if a coach picked him and said, we're going to try to run non-traditional football through him like they do in Baltimore. And no coach had the guts and the willingness to do that. They did not do it until they got Lamar.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm not a big football fan, but I remember when he came to the Jets, and it was I had a short hope for a while, and then they didn't do anything with him. Like they brought him onto the Jets, and then they never used him.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They couldn't figure out what to do with a 2-quarterback system that way, and as a result, they kind of burned his whatever potential he had.
Only one person's ever really done that successfully. That's kind of Sean Payton with Taysom Hill, kind of. And then even when Taysom Hill got the final starting job, we all on our sports shows like, this guy ain't the right guy. Winston's probably better, and Winston's a turnover machine. So I think you have to make the commitment like Baltimore did to a guy like that. Cross your fingers that a different type of system will work and take your chances. The Jets certainly weren't willing to do it. Denver really didn't even do it when he was the starter. So, you got displaced by Peyton Manning, I think it was. I heard he was a pretty good quarterback. So
I was like, that Russell Wilson guy. That's Mr. Ciara now, I think, right?
Mr. Ciara.
Mr. Ciara. So, but yeah, as far as my Yankees go, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here because, it makes hypocrites out of people like me that were pissed about. It makes hypocrites out of people like John Boy. Because John Boy built his entire YouTube channel off of that cheating scandal and how they screwed the Yankees out of the 2017 World Series. And John Boy's entire, empire that he has come from that. Between that, what's that?
Whoops.
Yeah, between that and fucking Savages in the Box. His entire thing is Yankee based, and the fact that they got piped on that.
Savages in the
damn
box.
Astros.
Get out of here with these stupid slogans, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say Buck Showalter is not the slogan type. He's just like, go fucking win, goddamn it.
Savages in the box.
Savage in the Box.
Well, see,
Savage in the Box.
Savages in the Box. We're gonna probably wrap up the Yankee thing in a second. The Savage in the Box thing was very un-Aaron Boone like because Aaron Boone is so polite and soft and everything like that. To hear it, it's like, oh shit, he can do it. He's not a complete glorified yes man. So, but okay. So that's basically that topic right there. Brandon, do you feel a little bit better, or do you want to save some?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Tuesday, we're going to be breaking down basically the MLB season, every single team in like 8 words or less. Our predictions of what's going to happen there.
Well, good. So I cannot pick them to win the division. Great.
Though you probably can't. Not when you have a 36-year-old third baseman you're paying $25 million a year for. Not going to mention that one. So, all right. So, what's that?
Yeah, who thinks your $300 quarterback? Who thinks your $300 million pitcher is Spider-Man with his use of spider tack?
Dude, oh my god, that's a mess up over there too. It's just see how cockeyed that whole thing is. Garrett Cole and all that. Yeah, we have plenty of time to bitch about that, and I'm sure I'll be having a conversation or 12 on that one in the near future. All right, so we are going to be moving on at this point. I'm going to open this up to Mr. Robert Leckington because he had the idea to talk about loud chewers, and people that on camera or basically, just in general. I would go with John General as well as I pull up that particular one.
That's a nice photo. Well, it wasn't necessarily about loud chewing and things like that. I think it was just like the audio quality and like some of these shows and things like that I've been watching lately. It's just, you can hear practically every little pop and every little freaking, I don't know, man. It drives me nuts, especially when I'm watching like the British shows.
So your problem isn't munching; it's sound engineers who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that like with the high definition audio that we're getting on a lot of TV shows and a lot of films and things like that, it's just.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it just drives me crazy because it's like, I'm trying to sit and listen to what's being said, as far as like on screen and things like. But then, like, my mind focuses on like these chewers and the popping, and like it just drives me nuts, Ben. So, what I normally do is I'll turn the volume down just so that I can hear what they're saying, kind of thing. That kind of drown out the extra noise that's coming across that I'm hearing, you know, and it's something that I've kind of been paying attention to involuntarily for the past few years. So I know that like there's a condition. It's called a certain thing, but you know I don't want to put focus on that. It's just the idea that nice JT. I see you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like stinking a little bit.
Yeah, but
It's
that's
the
what I
yogi shot.
have. That's what I have. I mean, it's not really necessarily the chewing, but although chewing is part of it, so
Okay,
that's my beef.
So it's like it don't have to be chewing. It's just a background noise that is like additioning into the audio, like JT said.
Yes.
Well, it's like okay, not necessarily the production part. I think that like with the with the TV shows that are coming up lately, everything's in high def.
Mhm.
So even the audio is in high def. So you can hear a pin drop, right? That to me is just like, has anybody heard of like ASMR, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I would hope JT's heard of that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ASMR is just
Go to
it's
sleep.
yeah,
Sleep.
exactly. And they've been having a lot of commercials and things like that. I can think of one commercial with Zoe Kravitz, who she's like, I think this was like during the Super Bowl last year or something like that, where they did a whole bunch of different commercials with like different actors just talking like this. Just talking like this. You know, and it was just, oh my God, it was driving me crazy. You know?
So you don't like when people
Uh,
Here I was thinking.
He's like,
Here I was thinking.
Oh my God.
That this bit was going to be. Oh, I'm at work and the person next to me is with their coffee. It's hot.
Exactly.
It's hot.
Yes.
well, see, here's the thing: on camera, they're not supposed to chew the stuff. They're not supposed to drink the stuff.
Yeah.
So if you ever notice, basically, whenever they're drinking something on whatever show, whatever movie, they take a tiny little sip, but you see, the level never drops because for continuity reasons, they need to pretty much keep it the same way. That's why it's just like, not even half a drop of this. But with the chewing part of it, that gets picked up by sound. So the fact that they're doing that on camera and chewing like that, yeah, I could totally understand why it's nails on a chalkboard. But it doesn't make any sense from a filmmaking perspective because like that would cut over whatever audio is happening, whatever the music that's going to go underneath. It's a sound editor's nightmare to have to deal with that noise underneath all the other stuff that's happening.
I'll tell you, when I was doing that episode of Gotham where I played the drummer in a rock band, okay, I was actually hitting the bass drum, with the bass drum pedal because they had a bass drum pedal there, right? So the sound guy is like, a little less kick, please. And he said that like several times, right? Okay, because they're trying to get the visual aspect of me playing the drums, not necessarily me playing the drums kind of thing. So I can understand in a production sort of aspect or whatever that they need a certain continuity as far as visual goes. So, but with me like hitting that bass drum, it just kind of made me realize, well, they don't necessarily need that particular sound. It's just the idea of me being able to play so.
Drums in particular, now that you bring that up, I've always found fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, no, drums are awesome.
Well, not from I know from a playing standpoint, but just from like picking it up in a movie and just from a sound engineer standpoint, like the balancing of all that because obviously drums are an overpowering.
Right.
Now, when you did Gotham, was that pantomime or was that real drumming?
That was a mix of both, actually, because they had mufflers on the cymbals, but the drums were wide open. So I had to kind of like lay back a little bit on the drums, but the cymbals I could hit as much as I wanted, and still be able to get that effect.
Was there dialogue as you were doing it, or was it a film separate?
No. It was all like pre-recorded in a way because there was a track that we were playing along to, and then in that because in the scene, the Joker comes up on stage and he takes over the stage and everything, and he's like, okay, and he's pointing at me, right? And so I'm playing, but I'm not necessarily playing, right?
Mhm.
I'm just sort of kind of pantomiming. And then as far as the sound went, I guess the sound was kind of overdubbed later, but I mean, I was kind of actually playing the drums. It wasn't as loud as it could have been, but
But it was still
obviously with the bass drum, I was just going all nuts on the bass
but it
drum.
was still pissing off the sound guys because
Right.
it's Gotham. Everybody's pissed off on Gotham every single day on that thing. You know,
Right.
15 hours a day, overnights and smoke. Yeah, that'll do it to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not surprised they got pissed off at you on that one. But yeah, I remember that episode. I just didn't remember. We never really talked about how it was filmed and everything like that.
Right.
But yeah,
Great
as
episode.
far,
Great 3 days.
so. But yeah, no, I think in this case, as far as like the audio goes when it comes to chewing and everything like that. So apparently, you're not a big fan of that, huh?
No.
Like
this
just like
was-
the over amplification of every
Exactly.
minute little sound. Yeah, I got
Because
that.
it's all in 4K. Well,
Mhm.
4K. I mean, high definition audio. It's
Right.
got to be like, especially with like CBS. CBS is a major proponent of like high definition audio. Every show that I watch, if I do watch, I have to turn it all the way down because it just drives me up a wall to hear every little pop, every little P plosive. It just, it's crazy.
Meanwhile,
Well, yeah,
I'm deaf,
it's kind of
and I have
annoying.
to put the words on and the volume up to 100, so we're living in different worlds.
Right.
I always found that kind of annoying because the TV stations I've worked for, we've always had a compressor limiter on our system to prevent things from getting too high. So I love the fact that there are other TV channels like, screw it. It should be fun.
But you know, it's funny.
Wow.
Well, that's
some
like
kind of-
certain, the NCAAs. They turn up the squeak on the sneakers on purpose.
Oh, my, bro,
They
that-
do?
Dude,
Yes.
Are
oh
you?
my God,
That's
that's so
kidding me,
annoying.
man.
Thank you.
Yes.
that I
yes.
need.
Oh,
That's
dear Christ, on a stick, man.
asinine.
Dude.
And in the Masters, they
play
play bird sounds, and then like I didn't know they were playing bird sounds till somebody says that bird's not in Georgia. You know, a bird freak, and then you start going, "Oh, they're playing sounds. It's not even the real birds."
Yeah.
I've heard stuff like that before. In pro wrestling, from my understanding, they place a mic right under the ring and then hook it up to the PAs. So when they slam them, it makes it sound louder through the arena.
Right.
That makes sense, you know. But yeah, no, I never understood why they got to do that sound so much. You know, is it supposed to add to the coolness factor?
Yeah.
I guess
Makes seats rumble.
No, I'm talking basketball to squeak. I'm not talking
Oh,
I guess maybe it heightens the excitement a
Wrestling
little
with
bit, the
ring
moving
has
around.
sense. I understand that.
yeah.
The squeak, no, I don't need that.
No.
I think
Like
it
it's the
increases the sense that they're moving, like JT said. So it increases the sense of action
Of
even when
course
they're
they're
in
moving.
action.
They're playing basketball.
Yeah, but
Or maybe it's like squeak, squeak, squeak by Nike.
no.
Thinking
Yeah,
about
there you go.
you're thinking about those shoes all the time.
Definitely got something here.
You're hearing squeak, squeak, squeak. The other people are hearing money, 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 money.
Go ahead, Devani. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
but what I'm saying is, what I'm going to already say is, with basketball, the reason for the squeaks is really because of the crossovers. They want to see somebody trip. It looks like they get that factor in, like, oh, that squeak factor. So it's like, okay, make that person jiggle, like not jiggle, but make their legs jello.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Yeah, to me, it's annoying as crap. But also, when you got guys that are running 2 to somewhere upward of 5 miles a game, you know, I mean, that's a lot of squeaking going on right there. Whole lot of squeaking going on.
Squeak, squeak.
Squeaky. So, but I was say, Rob, you feel a little better venting about
No,
shooting?
I do actually. I feel good.
No. I don't know. My father always said I chose as a child. So,
That JT guy over there.
so all right.
Ah!
Wait. We always got to do one last one, and then we got to go to the next topic.
What do we get?
Ah!
All right.
the barber shop.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are hilarious.
So,
That's funny.
All right. So this just came down. Mr. Brandon Kaye sent it out on the docket, but I figured it's worth a mention anyway, since he just sent this message.
It just came to my docket, so I
It
had to
just came
send it to
down
your
to
docket.
Will Smith has resigned from the academy after assaulting someone, at the academy.
Wow.
Yeah. So in this case, because apparently, slapping the shit out of somebody on stage in front of, I don't know how many dozens of millions of people were watching that worldwide, apparently is a glorified no-no in the worlds of Hollywood. So,
And it wasn't planned, by the way.
You're right.
No, I'm increasingly believing that. I wasn't too sure initially, but now I'm really kind of in favor of that too. And yeah,
I kind of want Will Smith to just slap more people. Actually, I seem to be the opposite of everyone.
Have you seen the videos of this? By the way, the internet went crazy. Go ahead, Rob. Before I get into my
I was just gonna say that, I wasn't a part of like your guys' last broadcast about the show and everything, but from my own experience, okay, I've seen firsthand how Chris Rock treats his fans.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was at the
Boston.
Barnes and Noble. He was at the Barnes and Noble in Inglewood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was like these people that were all hanging around him and everything, and he was like, "I'm here with my family," And so for Chris Rock or for Will Smith to come and slap him, I kind of felt a little relief, a little bit. So,
I mean, it could go either way, though, because he's also been known to be very good to his. Chris Rock has been known to be very good to his employees, having given all the Raiders of the Chris Rock show like these. I forget what they are, like $1,000 watches.
Yeah. Well,
but it's like, but the thing about it is, at the end of the day, everybody is human. On set, they're gonna have their moments, they're gonna have their breakdowns. It's just in this particular situation with Will, it was very unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
I didn't agree with the whole setup. I didn't agree with him going on stage because to me, it was still okay. I want to say it like this. It didn't feel like Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like Will Smith smacked all the support, all of everything, just because of something to me. Either it was a misunderstanding or it's something more deeper than what it is.
Well,
I feel like it could be a little deeper than what it really is. I mean, I haven't been commenting on this because I haven't known which way to go. Like, he shouldn't have slapped him at the same time. He should have slapped him. I think I still like Will Smith. I'm not really pissed at him over all this stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's the goodwill, but I still like him. But it seems like, look at his entire career and how he's acted and how he's raised his children and all that. This doesn't seem like a man who like goes around just looking to smack the shit out of people. It seems like I feel like he was in some sort of situation that it just kind of let him, like, he just, that in that moment, he's just like, it's just snapped.
Go ahead, Obi. You've been married for 118 years.
So to me, for me, first of all, the most fascinating thing about the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing is listening to my friends and family talk about it, because it gives you such a perspective on who those people are. Their perspective on it is a good reflection of who they are. That being said, a couple of things, first of all, come to my mind. Stop saying he stormed Chris Rock. He walked up to Chris Rock so calmly that nobody knew what was going to happen. It was not a storm.
Yeah.
Second of all,
he did.
He slapped that motherfucker, but he didn't. He stopped. He slapped him. He didn't kick him. He didn't follow up with a punch. He slapped him and walked away. So there was a certain calmness to it that I can't decide if it makes it worse or better.
Yeah,
because
if you watch him, he walks up. There's like a very split second of pause, of hesitation, and then it's like this robotic movement of the hand coming across, and then he walks back with like this smirk and this strut, like, yeah, I'm hot shit.
You know what,
Devani?
I think I would have done it that way.
Well,
go ahead, Devani.
You know, if I'm gonna slap someone, I'm gonna just calmly walk up to you so you don't see it coming.
Yeah, but like I said, at the end of the day, Will Smith was wrong. To me, putting your hands on somebody, like, if they didn't assault you, at the end of the day, it's not correct at all.
I agree.
You know,
Agreed.
Walked up there in the pursuit of slappiness.
Stop!
So,
I got
I did, to Dee's point,
Okay, you get that pun. You get that pun.
Thank you.
But
to Dee's point, what kind of bothered me about Will Smith was his apology. Because I think if you listen to everybody who talked, one thing that kind of was revealed is that we as a society do not believe that violence is never necessary. We just didn't know if it was necessary in this instant. And so when his apology was violence is never necessary, it's like, yo, dude, you've actually helped us all realize that some of us sometimes think violence is necessary. And this case, that was, no. I am going to suggest that in this case, it probably wasn't necessary. But,
Well, let's put it this way. Right now, there is a war going on in Ukraine. And how many people are angry at the fact that we're just boycotting stuff and not actually sending troops over there?
But does that justify Chris Rock being slapped because of a statement he said of your wife?
And what does that have to do with the Astros?
Right.
Yes. Is it Will Smith's fault that the Yankees hadn't won a World Series?
Yes.
I got 2 points on
Run
that.
it back around.
One, I heard Dennis Leary the other day. Obviously man. Dennis Leary, he basically, the way he put it is that Chris Rock is a comedian from my era, and that kind of comedy does not work in 2022.
yeah,
but like let's not act like the age difference between Chris Rock and Will Smith and they're the same age. Like Chris Rock and Will Smith, they're from the same.
Humor has changed though. The humor, with comedy has changed now.
Yeah, it's like 1990s versus 2000, whatever.
Hell, 2005.
And not only that, here's the thing: he has a woke, he got children that are woke. His wife is woke, so in a sense, it does play a part because of the family structure in his household. And it's not saying it's good or bad; it's just stating that look. Chris Rock said a joke. To some people it was funny, some people it wasn't. But at the same time, he's a stand-up comedian. He's going to say stuff and he's not going to be targeting you. It's just that moment. Like for me.
What about that statement from Jaden though, saying, "Oh, this is how we do."
Yeah, this is how we handle. This is how we roll.
No,
he's protecting his father. He was looking out for his father. I'll give him that.
I get it, but it wasn't necessary. It shows the immaturity on Jaden Smith. It really does. Like,
like I said, I think it really was something else there because they showed him. He was actually laughing at the joke originally while his wife was rolling her eyes. I think there's something deeper there with him and his family, and it kind of triggered.
People are coming up right now. I don't know if Obi and I are on the same page on this. Ob, go first.
Although my first reaction was that yes, he laughed at the joke. Many people laugh at something that's totally uncomfortable, as opposed to something they think is funny. Just ask any drill sergeant ever. And so I don't know if he laughed because he thought it was funny or if it instantly struck him as an attack on his wife and he didn't know how to handle it in that moment.
I think he laughed because they're all trained to laugh. Because every year they all go to these awards and they all know that they're probably going to be a target for some comedian on stage.
Part of
the gig.
I'm going to have to interject on that one because there's ways where people laugh. There's ways where it's hilarious. There's ways that you're trying to cover up the hurt. And in that moment, Will Smith was laughing because it was funny. He didn't realize it until he saw his wife. There's a difference. Then the tone turned a little bit because he realized, oh, snap, my wife has whatchamacallit. Let me try to make it better.
Overcompensate almost.
Yeah. But let's be real for a second. How many times we laugh to basically hide the hurt? And then we basically go to the person and say, yo, that junk wasn't funny. Well, I really felt offended.
Well, is there any truth to that Will Smith had approached Chris Rock before the show and told him, please don't say anything about my wife? Because I heard that somewhere.
That's what I said. Where I didn't
that.
know if it was something where they threw this by the two of them, and then one at Will Smith or whatever was like, "Nah, if you don't do this," and then Chris Rock said it anyway, or something along those lines.
But see, here's the one thing I'm just going to say on this: Will didn't have to do anything because the way the internet is, all you have to do is leak. Chris Rock knows that my wife has alopecia, and just let Twitter do its job. Chris Rock, that would be something where it would make Will and Jada look okay. Because, like, we had a conversation, and then all their PR people just take care of that. And then the internet will come after Chris Rock, and you got 3 million people that suddenly are your allies.
I want to say, I did an episode of Restaurant Stakeout where in this episode, we were in a restaurant in Oakland, New Jersey, right?
Okay.
They had a bug in my ear. They had a body pack on me with a mic strapped to me and everything. So the producer in the back room was suggesting that I do certain things. Now, one of those suggestions was for me to say, "Oh, this food tastes great, man! I'm loving
chew on
it."
camera so we could pick up that.
Exactly. And then, like, they told me to get up really fast and race to the front door and say, "Did you see that?" Right? This was all in my ear. So who's to say whether or not that something like that might have been, okay, well, we know that the ratings for the show is a little low at this particular point because they're paying attention to that stuff.
Yeah, they
right?
say, Rock, say the joke.
Exactly. Yes, Brandon knows what I'm talking about. So maybe they suggested in his ear, right? Okay, and then whatever transpired, it's almost like another thing that I had heard was like with a lot of these like housewives of whatever shows that are going on, they all get drunk. There's a reason for
Obviously.
that. There's a reason for it though, because they want them to come up with their real selves, and in order for them to get more sort of lenient with what they say on camera and things like that, they get them. Oh, let's have an alcohol party. Let's drink wine. Let's drink some beer. Whatever. Take them to a bar.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday.
Exactly.
Let's got the finger block party. Block party.
I can attest to this. The very first stand-in gig I ever did on television, I stood in for Andy Cohen on the reunion episode of Real Housewives of New York. It was a real easy gig. I paid like $150 to literally just sit in a chair. They're like, okay, that chair doesn't work. Let's try this chair instead. And my entire day was 4 hours of getting up and sitting down in comfortable chairs. However, the stand-ins that they had for all of the various housewives, I don't know, Ramona, Edward, Fred, whatever the hell their names are, I don't know. What they had them do is they said, okay, and they called them by their actual character name. Ramona, I need you to throw a pillow at Michelle. And right now, Janine, I need you to get up, flip her off, and then storm off. They prepped this in the reunion show.
Zing, zing,
and I'm
zing,
sitting
zing.
there. Martha was where I met Martha Morgan from. Rob, I think you know her. Our entire job was just to be there and had to do all that. And I had to sit there and just go, and it was a hell of an easy gig. But for them,
you probably felt the loss of brain cells.
Dude, you know what? I was literally brand new, a couple months in the industry. I didn't know a damn thing about anything. Andy Cohen wasn't there. He was going to come in later. But it was shocking to see how these things run behind the scenes. And of course, what I learned from America's Got Talent firsthand, and Rob is 100% right on this. The producers tell you what to say so they can use that footage later. And if it fucks up your life in some way, well, that's your problem, not theirs. You signed an agreement. Go ahead.
Now, do y'all think that joke is really that serious?
No,
but also we're older people.
And that was and that's what I was saying. Even a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, because I sat back and I was trying to see where is the offensiveness in that joke. And a lot of, and to me, a lot of some black women, stated that it's a hair reference. And my thing is, okay, but is it that serious? Is it that serious?
Listen, I think
not.
in our era, and I'm going to basically, hike up my pants here and basically, tell you to get off my lawn. I think humor right now is a lot more careful than it used to be. Jokes like that from the Chris Rock, aforementioned Dennis Leary era, are offensive now, where they never used to be. And I think that's where a lot of it is, where a lot of people are uptight about it, because of the fact that it was considered to be offensive to someone that has alopecia. I am not taking, in this case, I'm not going one way or the other on it, because it's not what I'm doing this show for in this particular, or this comment. It was more about the fact that Will Smith has decided to step down for pressure, moral reasons, whatever it is, because of what happened. But the amount of attention, like you said, the Oscars have, they can PR this one for a while, because next year it'd be like, well, last year this happened here. I mentioned this on one of the other shows. The Guardian, the British newspaper, in this case, the YouTube channel, in the first less than 48 hours after the slap, that video got 71 million views and over 200,000 comments in less than 48 hours after it went live. They got over 60,000 subscribers in the first day alone on that YouTube channel. John Boy, I just mentioned, he does baseball. He got 6.3 million in the first day. He was either Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker. I forget. They got 10 or 11 million. This has been so good for so many businesses, to be able to advertise and work with this. Who knows? In a year from now, they might actually have basically the Will Smith slap sale coming to JCPenney. The 1 year anniversary. Dude, wouldn't fucking surprise me.
I hate to say it though. I like the memes already for it though.
Everything is great.
Did anyone see Oscar Fighter, where they took the old Street Fighter intro and they replaced the two guys fighting at the beginning? With Will Smith going.
They've probably done a Mugen on this at this point. They probably added those characters to the database. Where you've got Evil Ryu fighting Will Smith slapping and then going up against Thanos or something. So I could 100% see that already. But I've watched a lot of, they green screen the shit out of a lot of this stuff, where they had one where Will Smith is coming up to slap The Rock, and it's just like, and The Rock just goes, and you just see Will Smith flying away.
Wait. Did it does the
no, it should have though. Oh my god! But yeah, there was something like that. There was one where Chris Rock, you see him like slide away and dodge it. The internet has had a lot of fun with this one. I even thought about doing some stuff with it myself, but my skills aren't there. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And one last thing.
Yeah, I think we're close to it with this.
Do you think this is really going to hurt Will Smith? I really think it's not, because he got what he wanted. He wanted the best actor in an Oscar film, which is King Richard. He won the award. As long as he could keep the award, he resigned. Like, look.
Well, that's the question. Will he get to keep the award?
No, he resigned. So how he's
going to keep the reward though? He's the award.
Keep it. He just resigned.
Yeah.
So he gets to keep the award.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you get to keep the award.
Yes, he does.
No, legally you can.
Yeah.
You earned it. You won it. If you opt to give it back, that's a totally different ballgame.
So the Oscars are the Academy Awards are not allowed to take back an award. I'm not even talking about the statuette. Just to say, we strike him from the record books for 2022. We had no best actor.
No, they won't do that because that'll hurt their reputation too much.
Yeah,
reputation.
Dude, they have to.
Well, it's like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Emotional, damn it!
Yeah. By the way, if you talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Brandon's got an.
I'm gonna.
That's another day. We can go back to that later.
We have already covered the Hall of Fame, the Rock Hall of Fame, so many times on this show.
Yeah.
Where I'm numb.
Okay. Yeah,
I am numb to that.
We have people that are not rock and or roll getting in there, but yeah, in this case here, like I said, if he gives it back and they strike it from the record, that is a bigger PR issue to deal with, because that will always be a Will Smith, asterisk. This is something he can absorb this. I mean, if Mel Gibson was able to absorb
the Pandora's box that you open after that. And the trickle down theory. Oh well.
If you're about to say that Mel Gibson can come back from this, what's the proof that Mel Gibson came back in his career?
He won an Oscar afterwards, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
I think he won the Oscar before it.
No, I thought he won when
What was the movie?
I'm trying to look that up. Maybe it was an Oscar.
Because I sure don't remember the last great thing he's been in before.
I just
his
think to that point,
pullover.
though, you just go back to well, this
Well, wasn't
actor
that
did this.
the
Let's
Passion
take
of the
it.
Christ or something like that. Passion of the Christ.
No, that was before his little meltdown there.
Yeah.
Awards and honors. All right, so he's People's Choice Award 2004.
That's around the time of Passion of the Christ.
Yeah,
Passion of the Christ 2004. Okay.
Fan
I
favorite.
see the Hollywood Film Award.
He was nominated for a couple of raspberries.
Yeah, there you go.
I think you can still win those after
Oh
your.
yeah, definitely.
But okay, in this case, this is going to sound weird, but he was in Daddy's Home too.
Yes,
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Didn't win an Oscar though.
Yeah,
No,
he was Mark
no, but-
Wahlberg. No, that was not an Oscar-worthy performance, but
But the point being is he was in a sequel with Mark. He played Mark Wahlberg's father.
Right.
You don't play Mark Wahlberg's father if you have not recovered from the shit he did.
Well,
Yeah, how many people remember that movie?
But he did play
in an
The
overall
fact-
family
the fact
film.
they chose to book him for that role.
He did.
Yes, they
play
did.
A bad father, though. That's the thing. I mean, well, somewhat of a bad.
I mean, he was in
father.
Expendables 3 too. I mean, that's probably what got his career restarted anyway.
Congratulations, he got brought back in a movie no one remembers because it kind of sucked.
I never saw either one of them actually.
No, but Will Smith is going to be that guy. He's probably going to rebound. I'm going to be honest with everybody. He's still my favorite. I still like him as an actor. I still like Chris Rock. To me, I think if they actually have a sit down talk, like I said in the beginning of the any other episode, I think if they squash it and explain what was the intent, what was the issue.
Except Chris Rock has already said that he plans on adding it somehow to his next set of comedy. Which
It went from like.
and depending on how he words it, let's see how much Will Smith forgives him.
The tickets went from $250 roughly to around $1,200 from what
He sold that out no time fast. Yeah.
No, I heard it was like the lowest ticket was like $40, and then it became like $300 and something dollars.
What was it last week? Chris Rock and Kevin Hart were in Atlantic City, right? The tickets were about $150, $175.
Mm-hmm.
And then like this week, who knows what they are.
Yeah, but the most that happened is like the like right after, I think this was March 30th, he came out to his first performance and he said, "Listen, I have nothing to say about the slap. I'm still processing it, but I'm telling you right now, eventually I will talk about it and it will be funny when I do."
And then 3 days
Now
later,
I'm looking over his resume right now. Basically, this year alone, he has 4 movies coming out. Mel Gibson does. He plays.
Any of them good?
He's got another one with Mark Wahlberg. He's got one right now with Morena Baccarin, Clancy Brown, Dominic Monaghan.
Yeah, I saw the trailer of the one with Mark Wahlberg. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, that's Father Stu. There's also Agent Game 2 with Katie Cassidy, Dermot Mulrooney.
There's a difference between doing something and doing it well.
Yeah, but the point is he's still working. And he's still working.
Yeah, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is he's no longer a superstar.
But, I mean, listen, if it hurt him that badly, he wouldn't be getting work at all.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. He may not be winning awards with it, but he's getting paychecks out of it.
But that's not my point. The point is he's not the star he was before he did all that.
Yeah, well, some of them are. I mean, yeah.
Well, let's look at it this way.
I'm gonna throw another bold prediction out, but go ahead.
Let's look at it this way. He's still recognizable for his accomplishments,
and he
may not. And that's the thing. He's well known for Lethal Weapon. He's well known for Passion of the Christ. Really, I kind of forgot about the whole antics that he did that got him cancer. So pretty much, he's still relevant.
I'll go by what South Park kind of said about him. He's batshit crazy, but he knows story structure.
Yeah.
But still, it's like he's talented, but I don't think his career ever recovered to be near the same level it was before.
Probably
and
not.
I guess the reason I'm fighting for this is because we're talking about Will Smith, and I don't know what effect this will have on his career. I'm personally still a fan of Will Smith, but I also think, other than some of these Oscar performances, like he doesn't do the action films that I knew him so well for anymore. But the question is, will he still get the same type of roles going forward will he be in the spotlight as much as he was in a positive light?
Yes, I think it'll happen.
Yeah,
Why?
I think he's going to pull a Tom Brady and come back in 40 days.
There
Be
you
like,
go.
nope, I'm coming back to the academy.
with
Yeah.
or without Bruce Arians in this case,
Yeah.
depending. But you know, Bruce Arians. That's another thing we can talk about another time.
Ooh.
But yeah, we can go off on Tom Brady,
Tommy boy.
you know, and basically just watch. Literally, just remember that scene from Scanners where basically Brandon's head explodes.
Yes.
That will be. We talk about Tom Brady a little more. So, but we are not. We are going to be talking about the final topic on
Fucking
tonight's.
Voldemort of the NFL.
Ow.
Yeah. So, but in this case, as opposed to that, we will be talking about something else that has some degree of acting involved. WrestleMania 38.
Okay.
Weekend.
Woo!
And this was by JT request in this case. You wanted to talk about that.
Me and JT
Go for
already
it. So
got
the floor is yours. I'm even going to change this a little bit for you.
Changes the slogan for me.
Yeah,
There you go.
I don't, I've been a wrestling fan since 1998, and they have made me so angry, the WWE, for so many years. I'm kind of like Brandon when they talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm exhausted now. But then they do something that I'm involved in, and it just makes me angry. For years, the thing that me and my friends enjoy is WrestleMania, because as bad as the wrestling product is, at least WrestleMania is fun to enjoy. It's the best matches. It's the wrap up of a whole bunch of storylines that they've done through the year. You always feel kind of satisfied watching WrestleMania. Then the pandemic happened, and they kind of realized, hey, we can have 2 days worth of WrestleManias. So now this show, which was already like super long, they've now stretched it out into 2 separate days with a whole bunch of 7 average matches per night. Not even the best matches. I'm looking through this, and I think there's, out of 14 matches, there's only 7 matches here I would like to see. The Intercontinental, I love how you're going, yeah, this is very riveting, JT. No, tell us more about this wrestling. How do your spandex people perform? To the titles, the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship, which are 2 of the most prestigious titles in pro wrestling. Neither one of them are on this show. The champions are not on the show. And one of the storylines, just how bad wrestling stories are, there is a wrestler here saying, I'm fighting for a match at WrestleMania. He's not a champion, and he can't even fight one of the 2 champions not on this show.
Why not?
Because wrestling, because WWE, because it's run by a 78-year-old man who doesn't know what they're doing.
They're up
he
in
ran
Connecticut.
XFL,
I mean, I could take you to them. I've been through that place a few times.
So have I.
I have.
You know that. I'm sorry, Devani. Do you want to go? Because I'm running out of steam.
Okay, so pretty much it's this. Like during the pandemic, we noticed that we lost wrestlers, and it really became a bummer to the point where these wrestlers that you could have utilized at their full potential. Like, to me, I think WWE dropped the ball with Keith Lee. Dropped the ball with Gillian Kane. You dropped the ball with a couple of wrestlers that could have been money makers to you. Right now, we got a couple of wrestlers right now that's on injury. Big E, one of the wrestlers actually dropped him on his neck. It was supposed to have been a three-man match that was supposed to be highlighting at WrestleMania. Now we got a tag team.
It's just so we can injure someone else on that team.
Then you got Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, which I feel like
Johnny Knoxville.
Okay, yeah,
Johnny Knoxville.
Oh God.
It's
Yeah,
like,
well, he had the Jackass movie just recently.
Yeah.
Two wrestling champions on the show. Johnny Knoxville has a match.
Whatever.
It's almost like when Mike Tyson was wrestling. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
okay, and then you got
Can we wait? Can I jump in one more time? We don't have one celebrity. We don't have 2 celebrities. We have 3 celebrities wrestling on the show.
What do we got?
The only one that has any credibility is Pat McAfee, just because he's been part of the WWE. But outside of him, you have Johnny Knoxville And you have where's his name? You're
I thought it was 2.
no. Mrs. Tag Team Partner. He's the jackass Logan Paul. Logan Paul has a wrestling match at WrestleMania.
Yes, Logan Paul.
God, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
He's everywhere. You can't get rid of him.
and
Dude, and you know what?
Cockroach,
That's
la
exactly-
cucaracha, la cucaracha.
no, it is annoying. It's like
See, that's an easy cash cow. Well, go ahead.
it is super annoying because you have all these celebrities. Don't get me wrong. Bad Bunny did an awesome job at last year's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He did an awesome job. But to me, why would you put Logan Paul? Logan Paul is a media whore. He's
Because
a media
Logan Paul
whore.
is money.
Oh, well, we could go on about Dave Grohl about being media whore. So
Listen, here's the thing. Logan Paul, the Paul brothers in general, and also Pat McAfee to a lesser degree, can bring in people because they have a fan base. And also, to be fair, Pat McAfee probably could hold, at least borderline hold his own in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, he may have been a place kicker with Indianapolis, but he is a pretty built dude. You know, I mean, Logan Paul.
He's a personality too.
Yeah,
He
Pat,
has personality.
Pat
I mean,
McAfee
he
has
has
actually
a
been
really-
training to be a wrestler for like the last few years. He's actually an employee of the WWE. So, like I said, he belongs there. He's a celebrity. I'm counting him, but he belongs there. The other two should not be there.
Yeah, and Logan Paul, I mean, all of his boxing matches, and we can believe me, we can go into the Logan Paul and Jake Paul boxing matches, boxing exhibitions, if you will, at some point, anytime we want
they
to.
related to Aaron Paul?
No.
No,
Just kidding.
no, he's not. You know, he's not that charismatic. I don't think. I met Aaron Paul. He's a freaking awesome dude.
Yeah, don't get me started with their boxing career because that's
Career. I mean, look, they do. To their credit, they do train, they do work really hard, and they do a lot for charity in that part too. But the point is that both Paul brothers can bring a lot of attention and a lot of young blood to WrestleMania.
4 celebrities. Ronda Rousey's also on the show.
Oh God!
no, but she's understandable. She's understandable.
She's in the same ranking as Pat McAfee, but still.
No, she's actually more.
No,
she's actually
yeah.
more suited.
She's a judo
Ronda
fighter.
Rousey is more suited definitely than Pat McAfee is. But I don't count her in this case here because she has training, she has experience.
Whatever.
You know, the Paul brothers. I mean, they've trained in boxing and things like that. But I mean, it's which is going to be more fixed, WrestleMania or the Floyd Mayweather fight.
Exactly. Thank you. Somebody actually said what I want.
Dude, Mayweather would in a real fight would have crushed him.
Thank you.
I mean, he may be older, he may have been shorter, but he's got so much more training on there. He would have straight up destroyed whichever Paul brother that was.
Can I add to this?
He would lose to Pacquiao right now too.
No, pretty much when they had that boxing match, I heard that rumor was he did get knocked out. It's just that Floyd had to carry him during the match.
Yep. Because in this case here, Floyd, I think with Floyd's case, his natural instinct would kick in, and the fighter training that he has, you can't disconnect that because you have the psychological unconscious programming to fight and to win, and you've got to taper that back as much as possible. When Sylvester Stallone did Rocky Balboa, the 6th one, he fought Antonio Carver, who was like a 2-time welterweight champion. Carver knocked him out twice during the filming of it because he was unable to actually deprogram this. And Carver was a smaller guy than Stallone.
That was in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, they filmed that in Philly. Yeah, because I was able to get my then girlfriend, a job basically as background on it through Heary Casting, and she's like, I don't do background. It's like, dude, you clean toilets for a living.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and by the way, yeah, well, she, shall we say, had other friendly genitals in her area while we were dating.
Mm.
One of those ones who doesn't change their relationship status after 4 months.
Emotional damage.
Robin met her once. Robin does not like her.
Emotional damage.
Speaking of, how is she taking this DeGrom news?
Oh, that's funny.
What happened with DeGrom?
He's got shoulder tight or elbow to whatever it is.
She knows about that. I don't know if she knows about that
indefinitely. Oh well, then don't tell her.
It's
fine, Robin. I'm sorry.
No, it's
gonna be bad.
She, by the way, she does want to do for Stream Punk Sports. She does want to do a couple play-by-play broadcasts on that. So I got to get you guys caught up to speed on some of the slight changes that we're making for the better, but that's later on. But as far as WrestleMania goes, congratulations. It's probably going to be the highest drawing one ever, but not because of the actual wrestlers involved.
No. I really think I have faith. If a certain person appears and wrestles a wrestler that doesn't have an opponent, I think WrestleMania is going to be a
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No.
Shall
I'm talking about
become his kingdom?
Hey, he
Andy
developed
Kaufman.
through the years, so I will say if Cody Rhodes make his appearance,
Andy Kaufman.
Will he be wearing polka dots?
I'd rather him wear the the Homelander outfit.
Oh yeah,
There can be only one.
You know what's gonna make me laugh if he has to come out of Stardust.
Ezra Miller's going to be showing up. They're going to be plugging the Flash.
He did play villain in Arrow.
Yeah.
I think John Cena should show up, just do the Peacemaker intro. That would be it. Just do that.
Oh my God. That's going to happen, isn't it?
Tune in for that.
That'd be the show right there, I'm sure.
Yeah, it really would be.
I will say this. Even though it's not listed on the matches, there is supposed to be this thing with Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it's not an official match, but at least it's something.
Nice.
It'd probably lead into something like for the rest of the year next year or whatever.
Probably not, because Steve Austin's 57 years old. But.
Well, whatever. I mean,
but he can't move like he normally do.
Hey,
no, I mean both of his knees are gone. It's like you're not going to get a Lou Thesz press out of him
because Stone Cold said so.
Well, that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
I told y'all once, and I told y'all twice. What?
Get that piece of trash out of my ring.
And another beer. I had another. And a damn Bloody Mary.
I have no idea what the hell's going on right now, and I'm okay with that.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop my limited wrestling knowledge on you in a way that's going to half blow your mind.
Okay.
So, back in the 80s, because I'm the only one old enough to remember this.
No.
Sorry. Present company included in this game. But there was a Hulk Hogan rock and wrestling cartoon show in the 80s.
I do remember something about that.
The voice of Junkyard Dog was a pre-Fresh Prince and pre-Shredder James Avery.
Yes.
I have heard of that.
Wow.
I was really surprised. And additionally, the voice of Hulk Hogan was a pretty much every single thing possible Brad Garrett. Before Everybody Loves Raymond, before the Jimmy John's commercial.
Oh, that guy.
Seinfeld, where he stole Jerry Seinfeld's car.
Before
He was the voice of Hulk Hogan.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, before 20 years before Everybody Loves Raymond. Yeah, he was the voice of Hulk Hogan.
Oh my
And the theme song of that show was his actual wrestling theme song, but he never used it because he stole another wrestler's theme song because he liked it better.
That song, by the way, the other song that he used, "Holding Out for a Hero," was the song that
Eye of the Tiger.
No.
Everybody Loves Raymond theme song was Jungle Love.
It probably was. I don't remember.
No, the song that the other one that Bonnie Tyler did the song.
I'm holding out for a hero.
Yeah.
Was that the other one that Hulk Hogan had?
No. Hulk Hogan had Eye of the Tiger, and then he had generic ones, Real American and American Made. Oh, and he came out the Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix.
Oh no, the song "Ravishing." That was the one. That's the one. That was originally a Bonnie Tyler song.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
Ravishing.
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 If it goes down and it hurts inside.
Okay.
What I was actually going to go with, her song, actually in this case, I had the songs wrong, but I'll cap it off on this. Yeah. The song "Holding Out for a Hero" by Bonnie Tyler was originally a Meatloaf song. Oh. But Jim Steinman actually was sued at that point by Meatloaf, and he's like, you know what, fuck it, I had this song. Bonnie Tyler, you want to do it? And she's like, all right, cool.
All right.
"Holding Out for a Hero" was supposed to be Meatloaf.
Is it sad that I associate that song every time with either Short Circuit 2 or Who is Harry Crumb?
Or you know what I also think about it? The Netflix Kevin Smith He-Man, when we actually thought it was going to be good.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah.
That it was such a huge letdown to go from what that was. Kevin Smith, you got Mark Hamill as the voice of Skeletor. The animation's great, and they fucking kill him off in the first episode, revive him, and kill him off in episode 5 again.
I still haven't watched the series.
Dude, oh god. You know, the Netflix She-Ra was so much better than Netflix He-Man.
And that was intentional.
Yes. You know, and Netflix She-Ra, I liked that. It was clever. It was sharp. It worked on so many levels. Netflix He-Man, it's like, really, Kevin Smith? Really? And then you went after like YouTubers like Clownfish for accurately predicting correctly what you said, what you said you weren't going to do and you did anyway. He straight went after Clownfish on that. There it is.
Can we get a copyright violation for this?
Probably.
I get the
30 seconds, though. 30 seconds, you can play the song.
I heard 8 seconds. I've gotten a couple of copyright claims on
that
stuff.
was under 8 seconds.
I had a video. There was one video that I had. I forget what it was, but it was one of the basketball ones. It was a copyright claim on like 8 seconds of highlighted footage of a 4-minute video. So the one that you guys had for St. Peter's the other day, I got a copyright claim for 8 seconds of like 6 minutes of St. Peter's video, and as a result, can't monetize it, which is fine. But go ahead.
I have to ask this. I can't complain about it too much because of certain people I've signed certain things with, but was that St. Peter's game as big of a deal as everyone made it? I was watching News 12 the other night, and literally from 5 p.m. to like 10 p.m., it was just nothing but coverage of the St. Peter's game.
It's a Cinderella David and Goliath story, and David kept winning.
But I mean, it's like we have a camera live at the stadium. We have a camera in Jersey City. We have another camera at the Brightside Tavern, which some of us filmmakers know about.
Oh God!
And they're just like going back and forth. Yeah, and they did. They interviewed him. And you know what the other story was? The weather. So it was literally for 4 or 5 hours just basketball weather. Basketball weather. Just like,
because this it's because you walk past the campus school and not realize that they are in the Elite Eight of March Madness.
Yeah.
If a Duke and a Kansas and any of the North Carolina are in the Final Four Elite Eight and you walk through the campuses of those schools, you know that they're playing in a game.
And yeah, also you real quick, I'll say this before I'll turn it over to Devani. And yeah, I was gonna say you're broadcasting both games tomorrow, so you could have actually done St. Peter's had they won. Devani, go ahead.
Now look at it this way. Aren't we kind of proud that they're saying something positive on the news?
Dude.
True.
There's a lot more money to be made from discord and anger than there is from unity and harmony.
But look,
they give you just enough to make you happy so you don't slit your wrists.
But at this moment, we were happy because they made the 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were all happy.
And now
my problem isn't the point that they didn't mention it. Like, I would have probably been angered if they didn't say anything at all about it. But as someone who's worked in news for like 14 years, it angers me when we cover a story and they have nothing new to say. It's like, we're just going to be live with this because we need to be live with this. We have nothing else to report to you that we haven't been reporting for the last 6 hours, but we're going to talk about it again right now.
First to cover.
Okay. Hold on. Now that you bring up news, this is something that has festered in my body and mind for so long. No, this is.
I'm trying to wrap the show up.
Hold on. Yes. Okay. When these regular news stations have to just throw in this 4-minute half-ass sports segment that they gotta cover their team, where you got these two anchors that haven't watched a game of baseball or basketball in their life, and they got to do the news story, and it's like, the New York Mets are on a hell of a streak, winning 3 games. Isn't that great, Sally? Man, they're just on a great ride this season, aren't they? And you know that they just don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I worked for
it drives me crazy. Like, it infuriates me watching these idiots talk about sports. And I know
Listen, I worked someplace that actually had a sports department. And the person who ran this the station was like, "We don't need a sports department." Like literally dismantled it person by person until they hired one person and I remember having a meeting where this person said, "This isn't a department anymore. This is a beat. This is just someone who's just gonna cover this once in a while."
One man band.
And a nice person, but I'm not a fan of some of their coverage.
These regular national TV news programs and these anchors thinking they know a damn thing about my team. No, I will not allow you to talk about my team.
I work someone he loves sports and would talk about nonstop, would go to like the Red Sox training program, like that fun one for people who didn't make it. But so he was a sports fan and he was dedicated to it. And they're like, "No, we don't want you anymore, man. We don't need you."
That's when I pull out my semi-automatic submachine gun and start.
No,
bad, Rob. Bad.
No. We do not have to.
I'm kidding.
I've been a Zen for 28 years. I plan to stay that way. So, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well, actually, this does. We're going to start wrapping this up, but it does give me a topic that I'm going to be talking about probably the next time around. About something that really grinds my gears. It's been happening a lot on my Facebook page. Just realized now I want to bitch about it, but I don't have time at the moment. So, but just remains for me to thank Mr. Obie Spencer, who disappeared about half an hour ago, Mr. Brandon Kaye, Mr. Devani Boosie, Mr. JT McGuire, Mr. Robert Leckington. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I'm tired.
Yeah, same.
Keep grinding and keep gearing.
Yes, exactly.
This rate, Logan Paul, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee next year. Book it.
Calling it right now.
I think after 4 beers, I think
you see my face, right, Brent? You see my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's going to be going in there. William Shatner will be going in.
Oh, that. I'm scared.
The shenanigans.
Oh God! Oh, it makes me so happy. But oh God, I don't even know what the hell I was saying anyway.
No, that's it.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah.
I think we'll end it there.
On the Twitch page, Brandon will be doing both games for Final Four. Also Sunday Night Basketball with Ernesto Diaz. On top of that, we're going to be back Monday with more grinding gears. And like I said, I got a topic that just dawned on me. Oh yeah, I can really, really fire off big time on that one. So in the meantime, thank you guys as always for tuning in. Find us on streampunkent.com. And there's the link to everything else that we've got. Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. New articles up there. Rob Leckington just had an article about acting. JD Walker did have something recently about Seton Hall and the new head coach situation over there. We could talk about that too. But for now, thank you guys as always for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate that. Take care. Stay awesome.